Phone này mình cũng xài được khoảng 2 năm rồi để ngoài quay mấy em ra mà làm việc mình lấy mấy cái đồ làm sao giống nghệ không bao giờ mà kỹ
we would like to present it to the Public Works as a proclamation, National Public Works Week. Congratulations. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. Thank you for this proclamation. This means a lot to us. On behalf of the men and women of the Public Works team, I'm very honored to receive this, and they are dedicated employees who work very hard to maintain the city infrastructure and provide best services to our community. With this opportunity, I would like to invite everybody to come and attend our 3rd annual open house, Public Works open house on May 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's at a Corporation Yard at 14381 Olive Street. It's right at the corner of Olive and Maple. So with this event, the residents will have an opportunity to learn what we do, what type of services that we provide, and to know about this awesome Works members right here. But thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members for your continuous support of Public Works. And we'd like to take this opportunity to thank the men and women that always put themselves out there every day to make the cities better. Thank you. Please come out on May 18, right? May 18 at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Because in the last couple of years, I noticed that not many people show up to support them. So this year, please invite your family members and your friends, your neighbors to come out. They put up this event for us so that we can learn what they do and they can continue to provide support to the community. So again, thank you for being here with us.
I just want to say, well, this is how you get them to come, is that you let everybody know there's going to be really great hot dogs, right? So you didn't mention food, but there's going to be plenty of food, and I love their hot dogs. I always love to get together. It's kind of a get together with all Public Works men and women, and thank you so much for your dedication. And ever since we have you on board as the leader of Public Works, we feel that you've accomplished a lot, and thank you so much. And thank you, all of you. Wow. And how many of you all together?
Total full-time and part-time, we have about 75 members.
Wow. I wish all of you could be here. But maybe we'll see you there on the 18th.
Thank you.
So Jake, you have an amazing team. Thank you for all your hard work. They're the one that fixed the potholes, the trees, the streets. They are the man and the woman of the hour. So thank you guys for all you guys do. Keep up the good work.
Thank you for your team, what you do. From what I understand, the Public Works is one of the first departments to get when you get a city started. It's the first ones out there on the boots on the ground to make the city run. So thank you. Thank you for all you do for our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we need 2 rows. Yeah, because it's, we got 2 rows. No?
Thank you. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
According to City Clerk, that we are going to do both at the same time. Proclamation to National Police Week, please come. And also proclamation to Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah, thanks for all for what you do for us, and congratulations.
just want to thank the council for their support of the police department. All of you are very supportive of us. Little things like this do matter to our personnel, and in a time of hate, and a lot of it out there, and the things our officers have to see daily, it's nice to get recognized now and then. Our personnel really do mean the best for everyone and are put in just difficult situations that they're required to perform perfectly in every single time. So really appreciate this, and I would like to make one more note that this is one of the few times the police department gets recognition over the fire department.
Talking about the fire department, I always participated into the training that they had last weekend, Saturday at OCFA. I was there for 3 hours, training everything that the firefighters did. But I know that it's just a small scale, but it was great to be there. All right, thank you again.
So Westminster PD, we just want to say thank you so much for all you guys do. I know that you guys are understaffed, but you guys are working so hard over time. So I hope your policemen and women understand we appreciate all you guys do. And I know that it takes great men and women like you guys running every day into the situation, into the chaos. And you guys risk your life and your reputation to just be in there to keep us safe in the city here. So we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, there may be a surprise for some of you tonight, that we saw that there's the seat arrangement is differently than before. It's due to a request of Councilmember West, and I want to, with privilege as a mayor, I can be assigned. I accept her request. I accept her request, and then I want to thank Vice Mayor Hall to agree to switch her seat, even though she's the Vice Mayor. She's supposed to sit right here next to me so that she can continue, she can help me with the meeting. But then she is okay to take one for the team. So thank you very much, Vice Mayor Hall. All right, next is oral communication for agenda item only. Please help me do my job. This is the time for oral communication for agenda item only. And I will stop you if you are talking out of the non-agenda items. When you come and speak, would you please go ahead and identify the item that you want to speak about? At this time, I would like to ask our city clerk to go ahead and read the instruction into the record, please.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any items on the agenda except public hearing items. Members of the public wishing to address public hearing items shall do so at the time of the public hearing. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the Council chambers and submit the card to the City Clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and city of residence for the record. Our first speaker is Jody Boyd.
My name is Jody Boyd, and I am a 15-year resident of Westminster and District 1. And I'm not here today to criticize, condemn, or complain. That's the gal that left a few years ago. I am here to talk to you today about our warrant register and also leave abatement from the agenda. I've taken a good look at the warrant register, and I am abundantly clear where this money is coming from. to come up with our current fiscal year budget. I also patiently sat through our earlier presentation as we're beginning to talk about our budget for our next fiscal year. And I was very disappointed to see that once again, we're looking at a shortfall and taking money out of reserves. This cannot happen for another fiscal year. Look at the burn rate on the chart. It's proposed that we could potentially take over $11 million over what, the next 5 years? That's the taxpayers' money. We have been making the same mistake year after year, and it has to stop. The people elected each one of you to represent your districts as well as all of the people of Westminster and to solve problems. This is the very big problem that you will solve this year. I also noted the amount of the shortfalls for each fiscal year. It's not a lot. 3.1 million, 2.1 million. Guess what? How many licensed legal cannabis dispensary companies have stood before you with proposals that would bring in those amounts of money? Just from one of them. Imagine if we had a handful. We must begin the conversation. It's not going to be easy, but we have to talk about it. Respected Council Member West, as my representative in District 1, I am asking you, and I will help you, to put an item on the agenda to get this conversation started. At the end of the day, thank you. I'll say weed abatement the other week for later.
Our next speaker is Tammy Hall.
First, I agree about cannabis shops. That at least needs to be a conversation. Even if some people don't personally believe in it, if it's going to bring revenue into the city and be a positive thing, then it at least needs to be discussed. The thing I want to talk about is 5.5, the flags contract. I do understand some budget issues, but I also have seen a lot of graceful budget stuff going on with lengthy meetings, special meetings called that they need to be called. Many meetings are trying to count how many about flags. I would so much rather see that money going to an animal shelter that we need in the city. I actually nominated flags for Small Business of the Year because of all the positive things that they do for the city. They have programs for kids, they have programs for adults who are volunteer, they provide jobs, they return stray animals to their homes. There's really nothing but positive things that they do for the city. And I would just hope that this would be a priority to continue that contract with them, because it's not only Westminster, it's also Stan. If they leave the city, what's going to happen with all those animals? What's going to happen to the programs that the kids love to do? We need to keep them in the city. So if there's other things that need to be cut, meetings need to be cut, put council member comments to 3 minutes. That would cut a lot of time for meetings, because we only have 3 minutes. Things like that can be done, but we need to keep that in our city for all those reasons. So I hope you vote yes to continue that contract.
Our next speaker is Deborah Mariscal.
Good evening, Deborah Mariscal. I agree with Jody Boyd. So on 3.1 and also 3.4, as we see more and more businesses leaving the city, Sam Ash is the most current one that will be leaving. We've been buying music equipment from there for years because my husband's a professional musician. We have got to find ways to bring business into the city instead of scaring them off. And then we also need to do something to keep WAGs going. I have volunteered there. I've taken, bottle kittens. We've adopted from there both cats and my current dog, who happens to love the police chief. We need to keep them here for the same exact reason that Tammy just talked about. I've volunteered there. We've had fundraisers there. If we're going to spend money anyplace, it needs to be there.
The next speaker is Robert Harrison.
Rồi mình xin phép mình ngưng cái buổi ở đây rồi mình sẽ chờ phát biểu sau. Có quay một cái video để tạm ngưng cái phần này ở đây. Xin hãy lại các bạn trong những chương trình tới. Xin lại chào tạm biệt.
Myself, other people, for we have been vetting it for a long, long time, a number of years. Parks and Recreation approved it last year with some grammatical corrections we made last year, and they were made. This year, the city staff worked hard and made some more corrections. And they have been made. For years and months, the map was presented to American Vietnam veterans and South Vietnamese veterans on the first Sunday of every month. We had read it, we looked at it, we wrote it down. We want what is best for the city of Westminster, for America and the Vietnamese people. The map has been on the table with Marjorie Rice, Mayor Treetop. At the very last minute, February 28th, I was not here. I fractured my skull. Some different presentations and independent creative ideas were provided that they could have been pushed then, and we'd be done already. Right, justify. One of the things was the names of the battles. On the right side, the major battle names, locations are chronologically listed, and that had gone down in history with that name well known to the American Vietnam veterans as well as the South Vietnamese counterparts, vetted by both sides. Names of the locations and battles were presented on the actual map itself from the Pentagon. We need to get going and to honor those who fought for freedom for the Vietnamese people, to ensure that sacrifices for the Vietnamese, allies, Americans, and servicemen and women will never be forgotten. To symbolize the lasting relationship between Vietnamese Americans and our nation. Thank you.
Our final speaker is Terry Reeves.
Congratulations, WPD and Public Works staff, on your recognition tonight. Item 1. I still question paying $72,000 to completely rebuild a 3-year-old police vehicle after a serious accident, regardless of insurance, due to safety concerns. Item 3.1. Contrast that to buying 2 brand new grant-funded police vehicles for $75,000 each, item 5.2. Item 3.4, I support the annexation of the unincorporated islands, knowing the largest island will have to go before the voters to approve. Under item 2, why isn't the status report of the branded cities billboard projects included? Enforcement of business licenses is generating revenue. Only Councilwoman West would become compliant too. Why isn't cannabis mentioned? Last we heard, the city was going to do a community survey, but the council majority seems completely closed off to the idea of generating at least $1 to $2 million annual revenue by allowing dispensaries. Item 5.1, why does it take 2 months for this council to appoint replacement members to the foundation, hindering the board's progress? Appointing members that don't really want to serve is unacceptable. The foundation needs to amend their poorly written bylaws, thank you, Christian, and become truly autonomous, removing the city council's involvement entirely from the organization, allowing them to fill their own vacancies, etc. Item 5.4, my birthday is July 14th, and on July 10th, one of the council's meetings dates, I have tickets to see the Rolling Stones, so I'm good with that one. Item 5.5, I suspect some on this council have no clue what a great asset WAGS is to our community. Look around the county. You won't find a better animal control shelter vendor, not to mention the many positive ways that WAGS gives back to this community. Approve this amendment or the backlash will be swift and fierce. Item 5.6, why aren't the SWOT analysis weaknesses and threats included in the staff report, only accomplishments? I hope the matrix is updated regularly. Item 6.1, catching up with technology, finally, but as a reminder, unredacted copies of FTPC filings must be provided upon request. Item 7.1, I want to thank and commemorate the late Craig Mandeville and veteran Bob Harrison for all of their hard work on this item. It's great to see it finally going in. Items 2 and 8, oral communications. Mayor Wick. The stark contrast of how Vice Mayor Ho ran the meeting when you were absent versus when you run them is astounding. You missed your AB 123 report from the City Leader Summit about how other mayors and councils do not argue with or attempt to intimidate members of the public from the dais like you and your 2 cohorts do. New rule. If someone wants to leave the dais, they must be recognized by the mayor to request permission and state the reason for their leaving and how long they expect to be gone. Other legislative bodies have this rule, and it's a good one. I don't know what the appropriate time is to speak on the walk-on closed session agenda item, but I guess I'll do it now. I don't know what it is, but I can't help but connect the dots that after you came out of closed session, you're adding a case of potential litigation, and I can only imagine what that might be. But I hope, well, we'll learn more later. Thank you.
Mayor, no further speaker cards.
Thank you very much. Next is consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by a single motion, followed by a roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the City Council or staff request that specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action or discussion. I would like to entertain if there is a motion to approve, or if there is any item that need to be approved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have motion and second on the floor to approve the entire consent calendar.
Thank you, Mayor. A motion made by Councilmember Monzo, seconded by Vice Mayor Ho. This is to approve the consent calendar as presented. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Pam West.
Councilwoman Pam West, yes.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
And Mayor Wynn.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Next is the public hearings. Anyone wishing to speak on an open public hearing may speak in person. Speakers during public hearing comments will each have 3 minutes to speak on each public hearing item, which we have only one today. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the Council's chambers and submit the card to the City Clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time and state your name and the city of residence, optional, for the record. So, Madam Clerk, go ahead and call. Wait, hold up on that. I would like to ask for a staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. This is the public hearing for the weed abatement program for spring 2024. According to the California Government Code, Public Works Department managed the weed and debris abatement from the vacant property in the city. We implement the program twice a year in spring and fall. The other quarters, summer and winter, Public Works staff send out the reminder letters to the vacant property owners. Currently, we have 20 vacant lots on the list. On March 5th, staff sent out a reminder letter to these property owners reminding them to clean their lots prior to the inspection on April 12th. So out of 20 vacant property, there was 5 property not clean at the time of the inspection. So staff did another inspection earlier this week and submitted late communications to update the resolution. So I'm happy to report that as of today, all property has been compliant with the requirement. So that concludes my staff report. I'm available to answer any questions.
All right. Next is comment or presentation from the applicant, and I assume that the city also. So we can move on to Mayor and City Council questions for staff. Any of you have any questions?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a comment, and then maybe this is something that for future agenda is that I understand you do have a list of the addresses that are repeat violators, repeat offenders. Is that correct?
A list of
addresses that are continuously in violation of this code.
Well, we do have the list of vacant property that's on the list for a long time. And if I remember correctly, it's probably about 10 properties. Every single time we do the weed abatement program, we send out letters, and they do actually comply. Whether before the inspection that we specify in the letter, or they will meet the deadline when we send out the second letter.
And some of those are repeat, they don't comply, or they repeat offenders?
They comply at the end, prior to our deadline.
Okay. All right. Next. Any comments from anyone? All right. If not, we can move to public comments. Do we have anybody sign up for this?
Thank you, Mayor. Terry Reeves.
Good evening. Some of these comments you've heard me present at previous weed abatement public hearings. Again, why are only vacant properties targeted under this program when in fact the relative government code and city ordinance both do not limit this program to just vacant lots? There are numerous properties in our city, both vacant and occupied, with serious weed and rubbish issues as defined under Chapter 13, Article 2 of the California Government Code, commencing with Section 39560, that never gets cited. It seems as though staff just revisits the same previously targeted vacant lots over and over, never looking anywhere else. Why not present to the council the full list of notice properties for reference in the staff report, even though the properties that were cleaned up are not a formal part of the public hearing? Former Councilman Sergio Contreras asked back in 2019 for the formal weed abatement process to be done 4 times a year versus twice. Staff's response was it would be too much work to undergo the formal process more than twice a year, but they said they would continue to use code enforcement and the community preservation unit to address these issues on a more regular basis, but that plan is not working. Some areas in the city seem to be targeted frequently, while others are completely ignored. The number of unkempt properties in the city continues to grow, creating extreme blight and potential safety hazards, lowering our property values and reducing private ownership in our city. Let's all put in a concentrated effort to clean up our city, and not just on Earth Day. Many cities hold pride beautification events throughout the year where volunteers, along with support from the city, come together to clean up their city. Some are part of the Unite for Cities initiative, which brings together businesses, residents, schools, service groups, and the faith community to improve their cities. I realize these comments are broad in nature, not specific to any properties listed on the agenda report, but I'm trying to be a part of the solution by offering input and ideas on ways we can improve our city related to this item. I do question the legality or appropriateness of the late communications memo. I guess there's 2 of them apparently, removing 4 of the 5 initially, I guess all 5 now, listed on Exhibit A with the resolution. One of these properties belongs to Vice Mayor Ho, who did assure me that her property had already been cleaned up, and that's probably the case with the other 3 or 4 too. But this was a legally noticed public hearing. Staff should not have revised the resolution behind closed doors. Instead, staff should have presented the revisions orally during the staff report, and then council could formally accept and incorporate the changes into the document prior to commencing the public hearing. One of the properties removed belongs, oh, I already said that, sorry. So it's basically a procedural thing. I understand that, you know, the properties did end up cleaning up and just went out and did a more recent inspection. But when you notice a public hearing, and people go and read the documents related to that public hearing, they're going to come prepared to speak on that accordingly. And while I'm glad that it's down to, I guess, 0, because I didn't catch the second late communications meeting memo, you know, it's great news. I just don't think it's good to do it the way it was done. I would prefer that it be done in public and that the council have that information before we commence the public hearing out loud publicly. Thank you.
I have no further speakers.
Thank you very much. Next is, I would like to call for mayors and council member discussion and take action for this. For that, I will move to approve as recommended.
Second, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I want to echo on comments from Ms. Raines. You know, this is one of the, and I made mention to this to, and I've reported a lot of these through the app, multiple commercial properties with the repeat offenders as far as lack of maintenance, overgrown vegetation, and it's just a continuous issue. It's like, what is really being done about that? It's the same properties, same corridors, over and over again. It never gets fixed. What are we doing?
Thank you, Councilman Manzo. I think for those properties, we can report it to CPU, which myself actually driving around and see those properties. I reported to CPU as well. Actually emailed CPU twice this week, and also code enforcement, and MVP cleared out who's going to be taking care of that. So CPU is the one who do, and they have the enforcement authority. They can send out letters with fines. With us, we don't have that authority.
Yeah. So thank you for answering that question. I know this is not your department, so thank you for answering that question. This is more a question for city manager. And so we need to keep an eye on that, make sure that we stay on top of that. So that's what I got. Thank you.
All right, we have motion and second on the floor.
And the motion made by Mayor Nguyen and second made by Councilmember Manzo. This is to overrule any objections received at the subject public hearing for the abatement of the weeds, and adopt a resolution entitled "A Resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, determining and declaring that certain weeds are growing upon certain streets, sidewalks, parkways, and private property in the City of Westminster, and rubbish and refuse have been deposited upon sidewalks, parkways, and private property in the city, and if the same are a public nuisance, ordering and directing the city manager to have said weeds destroyed and to have rubbish and refuse removed as required by law." I'm going to call roll. Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, yes.
Councilmember Manzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
Next is public hearing item 4.2, adoption of final fiscal year for 2024-2025 annual action plan for community development, block grant and home investment partnership act for program federal funds. May I ask for a staff report, please?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. My name is Mike Son, I'm a housing specialist, and tonight's public hearing is regarding the adoption of fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan. Here's a brief overview of our annual action plan schedule. At the February 28th public hearing, the city staff conducted a first public hearing regarding community needs and priorities, which allowed community input in regards to how the city should be allocating CDBG and home funds for the upcoming fiscal year. On March 27th, a draft for the fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan was initiated to open a required 30-day public review period. And tonight's public hearing is a second public hearing to adopt the fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan as required by HUD and before the city submits it to HUD for review and approval by the May 17th deadline. And as a reminder, the 2020-2025 consolidated plan lists out priority needs and goals, which was adopted by the City Council and also reviewed by HUD. And on the left-hand side of the table, you'll see the priority needs and goals that were first identified as part of the 5-year plan. Every city that receives direct funding from HUD is required to prepare and submit to HUD a 5-year plan, which lists out priority needs and goals that will be accomplished over the 5-year period. And on the right-hand side, the city is required to submit an annual action plan that serves as the application and implementation plan that addresses the priority needs and goals of the 5-year plan. And here is a list of activities and programs that are being proposed for the upcoming fiscal year. I do want to note at the time of writing the staff report, the CDBG home amounts are only estimates. And with that, the staff recommends that the Mayor and City Council approve the final fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan, authorize the City Manager to execute the documents required for submission of CDBG and home funding approval to HUD for review and approval, authorize staff to make changes to funding allocations once the final 2024 CDBG and home allocations are announced by HUD. And as an additional recommended action that was not identified in the staff report, city staff is also recommending to allocate any project savings from the fiscal year 2023-2024 street improvements to fiscal year 2024-25 street improvements. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
All right, thank you very much. Council members, for a question for staff. Hearing none, let me open for public comment.
Our only speaker is Terry Graves.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to provide input regarding the fiscal year 24-25 annual action plan. Lest we forget, Councilmember West voted no to accept these funds last year. Ignorant or stupid, you decide. The mission should always be to serve our most vulnerable residents. Not sure why, but the estimated CDBG carryover amount changed a lot since the first hearing in February from $207,932 to $252,730 in March's presentation to now $288,158, indicating that even less spending of these funds in the current year. I will suggest again that staff provide the council with a comprehensive analysis of the funds carried over year to year for CDBG and home funds and provide the historical use of these funds going back a few years, especially since this is the last year of the 5-year plan. The city needs to prove that we are getting the biggest bang for our CDBG buck and allocating almost $200,000 to code enforcement through the Neighborhood Pride program, because I just don't see it. In the past, the city hasn't even utilized the programs approved in the plan, which is also tragic. The purpose of this report and the funding is to benefit our community by addressing some of our more serious issues. It is not just about putting something pretty down on a paper and submitting it. The city estimates that we will have substantially less home funds this year versus last year because we allocated last year a full carryover amount of $2 million to the project at 14125 Golden West. Even more significantly than CDBG funds, the carryover amount for home funds has changed substantially from $181,405 as reported in February and March to now $529,043 with no explanation as to why the spending in this current year is estimated to be so much lower. There is a big problem committing funds to the alleged affordable housing projects because most of these projects are not truly affordable for extremely low or acutely low income residents. Affordable housing is defined in state and federal law as not more than up to, in other words, 30% of your income. Where are the units in our acutely low income for our acutely low income seniors with less than 15 to 30% of the AMI? These funds should be applied to a truly affordable housing development for extremely low and acutely low income seniors, where the rent would be set at just 30% of their income. You know, we throw millions into housing the homeless, which represent less than 300 residents here, but we leave our poverty-stricken, tax-paying seniors out in the cold, literally. The Milton Manor project will not fix this. Their rents will not be set at 30% of each tenant's income. So do better, Westminster. Point of order, on the agenda, there is no second late communication on the prior public hearing item. So, on the agenda, so I just want to note that. Thank you.
That concludes our public hearing for this item.
Thank you. I would like to close for public comments, and at this time, I would like to entertain if there's a motion from the council for that.
Yes, I motion to approve.
Second. Motion and second on the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a motion made by Councilwoman Van West, seconded by Councilmember Gonzo. This is to approve the final fiscal year 2024-2025 annual action plan and authorize the city manager to execute the documents required for submission of CDBG and home funding approval to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development for review and approval, and authorize staff to make changes to funding allocations once the final 2024 CDBG and home allocations are announced by HUD, and allocate any project savings from fiscal year 2023-2024 street improvements to fiscal year 24-25 street improvements. I'm going to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Van West, aye.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Lynn.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Lynn.
Yes.
5-0 motion carried.
Next is the regular business, and item 5.1, appointment to Westminster Community Foundation. The first one is from Councilmember Wayne, appointee, and the next one is going to be Mayor Wayne, appointee. So first, Councilmember Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am still in the talk with one of my nominating. Okay. I would like to defer.
Defer. Okay. As for me, I first of all, before I nominate the next appointee, I would like to thank Mr. Thomas Nguyen for his dedication, his effort, being in the team at the beginning, and because of the family commitment, he cannot, he no longer can support or help with the team, so he asked to resign from the committee. And the next one that I would like to, next appointee that I would like to appoint is Mr. Chin Chu. C-H-U is the last name, first name is T-I-E-N. So with that, with Councilmember Nguyen deferred it to next meeting, and for my appointee, I would like to ask, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, second by Councilmember West.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by Councilwoman Van West. This is to defer Councilmember Nguyen's appointee to the next meeting and to appoint Teen Chu as Mayor Nguyen's appointee to the Westminster Community Foundation to fill the unscheduled vacancy for a term ending January 2026. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Van West, aye.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
5.2, allocation of funds for purchasing 2 grant-funded for F-150 Lightning electric pickup trucks. May I ask for a report from the proposals?
Thank you, Mayor. Back in October 2023, there's a call for a grant from the Office of Energy Efficient and Conservation Block Grant, short for EECBG. They are asking the city to submit applications for a type of project that leaning toward energy saving and energy efficient. If you remember back probably about 10 years ago, they have the same grant for us, and that's where we start changing the LED traffic signal lightings, you know, the energy efficient lights at City Hall and different buildings. So this is the second round that the next round that they poured out. So they allocated for the City of Westminster about $140,000. And looking to the amount and the type of project that they awarded, we selected to apply for 2 electric trucks to serve the underserved, disadvantaged area. Recently we successfully received their approval for that project, and in order to meet the future, or actually the requirement from the state to have the clean fleet EV commercial mandate from the state, we had to start looking into purchasing the electric vehicles, and those are very hard to get them. So with this one, we tried to piggyback with the City of Ontario, which they just put it out last year, and each one is roughly about, I would say, $75,000. And the Transwest Truck Center, they were looking to honor the same bid that they provided to the City of Ontario. So staff recommended the City Council approve the purchase so we can get the reimbursement from the EECBG in the amount of $140,000.
Thank you very much, and I don't see any problem with this, but staff, Council can always ask the question that I need to approve.
I have a question, Jake. So with this grant, is it specifically for only electric cars? I mean, are you able to put it toward other things? Are there options
so,
in this grant?
Yes. Okay. So there's several options. My remember on top of my head is charging stations, which we do have at several locations. Solar panels, which are very costly for the amount that they allocated to Westminster, only $140,000. So we cannot do anything much. So that, with the amount that they allocated, you kind of narrow it down to how many things you can do to gear toward the energy saving. And it had to be serving for the disadvantaged and low-income area as well.
Okay, so with the charging station, how much do you think that would be if you were going to put that money toward a charging station for the low-income people in the area?
Well, right now the charging station still has to be charged, and you have to have facilities to house them. You know, we do have several locations for several, like, you know, right behind the community services center in the PD parking structure. We have those charging stations there as well already. You know, the charging station is require more, I would say, control environment than just leave it out on the street, because it can be vandalized, and it's not efficient if it's not, you know, being not maintained, but I would say ready to serve the people. So looking at that infrastructure and looking at the cost, and we said it makes more sense for us because the cities will have to mandate it to meet the state law by purchasing more zero-emission vehicles.
Okay, so I guess with the charging station, with $140,000, would you be able to create a station for the low-income people in the community?
Well,
do you need more than that?
Well, number one, we need more than that. Number two is location. Number three is not for free. You create a charging station that's still charged. Business.
Yes. So basically, from what your objective, you see that it's worth with this grant to get a two truck for the community. So with this truck, you'll be driving around town to help the low-income area. Is that what you're...
Correct. Thank you for that question. So our intention, or our plan is for those two trucks, one for the public work yard, that's for their services that we provided within the disadvantaged community area. The second one will be used for the City Hall for public works inspector. We're going to be going out and looking at the condition of the street in those areas. So those are the information that we put on the grant, that's mandated by the grant application that we have to put in.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I have a question. Thank you for this answers. Since we're limited on funding on this, you have 140 total. And one of those vehicles you just mentioned was going to be for an inspector. Have you looked into what is the most bang for your buck? Because the 4 linings are pretty pricey. Have you thought about maybe having some smaller electric vehicles, especially one being for an inspector, that we can get more for our money?
Yes, we currently have 3 Chevy Bolt that we can do because the public works inspector is a person who actually travel a lot. So that would be better, more bang for the buck using the electrical truck. And because we have to show that we have to serve the low income and disadvantaged area, and where the position that will, do that the most, provide that the most service.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, instead of buying 1 or 2 Ford F-150 Lightnings, which is pretty pricey, we can get 3 of a smaller vehicle. Especially being an inspector doesn't really need a truck. He's not going to be carrying any tools in the back of the truck. So maybe a smaller electric vehicle would be appropriate for a city inspector that's not going to be carrying something in the back of the truck. That's what I'm asking.
We actually can't right now. I mean, we can, but the thing is, application we are submitted for the 2 lining trucks that right now. We can designate that truck for different positions that actually require to put more tools in the back. That we can move that, but that's one of those positions that's serving the low-income area.
Is there a time limit that you need to get this done? If you were to change the vehicle type, you would have to resubmit it?
I have to refer this to Scott Ashon, our garage superintendent, who actually applied for this application. But I think if you do, then you have to go back to the grant folks and ask them for that. I'm not sure how long that's going to take them to do that, or even allow us to do that.
Yeah, that's the question. Is that, I don't know if Scott can come up here and put him under the heat now, and he can answer that question.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the question. Is it a situation where instead of buying 2 F-150 Lightnings, can we increase that by 3 vehicles, smaller vehicles?
That would be something I have to go back to the grant and talk to them about. But usually we've started working this in October, and if we had to get it done by a certain day, which I believe was sometime in April. So I think that time has kind of come already. Okay. But I would have to probably go back to the grant company and talk to them.
Is it something that we're limited on time that we need to get this done?
A little bit, yes, because the longer we wait, the more expensive these vehicles do get. So,
okay.
Right now, I'm working on the 2024 model year Ford Lightning, and basically the price that they give the city of Ontario, they are basically giving us.
Okay.
So the 2025 model years are coming out, and there's no telling how much it will cost. We don't know that yet.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Scott?
Yes.
Okay. Last comment. Scott, Jake, it seems like you guys, with this 2 truck, it seems like you're killing 3 birds with 1 stone. So it's multitask, multi-use in the city. So I think it's worth the money, and plus you guys already processed the application. I know there will be a delay, but it seems like from what Jake is saying that you would use it for multiple tasks, where you would need big truck to carry different things, for like picking up homeless, stuff, to getting tools to different locations to fix different area in the city. Is that what I'm hearing, Jake?
The one that we designated for the public works yard, that's what our intention. The other one, I think, Councilman Manzo was talking about, is the inspector. And the reason we designated for our public works inspector, because that particular position that do go out a lot, and using quite a bit of mileage on the vehicle, as well as serving the disadvantaged area as well. So that's our trying to provide it to the grant applications, to meet those requirements, and also show that what we plan to do, because we cannot give it to another department or position that doesn't apply to anything that provides services to the disadvantaged community.
So this is going to be for our neighborhood pride inspector to serve in the CDBG area?
Well, for the public works inspector, they cover the entire city, but we do have project in the CDBG area or low income area.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember White?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a question for Jake. It's a little bit confusing right now. So we have to approve an increase to the revenue budget for $140,430, and then we have to approve another $150,000. But what is that? Or we just approve the differences?
So yes, so what it is, the total of 2 trucks is 150.
Exactly.
We got the voucher or the grant fund $140,430. So we only need that's just a difference, you know, from the fleet, what we call it, the fleet budget or the motor pool equipment replacement budget. Just a difference, less than $10,000.
All right, I think we should make it clear already. Right?
Yes, please.
So we really want to increase the revenue for the money coming in, that's $140,000. Then we're increasing the budget for the expenditure for the $150,000. The rest of that will come from the fund that's available, I think, just in the balance. So we want to increase the revenue so we can get the money coming in, and then the expenditure. So the difference is what the city will pay, the $10,000.
All right. And that's going to come out of our general fund.
The equipment replacement fund.
Okay, if there's no other question.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jake.
There's no other question, then we have a motion on the floor.
Can I second it?
Yeah.
I second it, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Mayor Wynn, seconded by Councilwoman Van West. This is to approve an increase to the revenue budget, account number 58000-34294, state other, in the amount of $140,430, and approve an increase to the expenditure budget, account number 58002-581400, motor pool equipment replacement, in the amount of $150,000. And approve the purchase of 2 Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickup trucks from Trans-West Truck Center of Fontana, California, in the amount not to exceed $150,000. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Van West, aye.
Councilwoman Alonso.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wynn.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Wynn.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
5.3, award of contract for Garden Road Boulevard Street Improvement Project from Edward Street to Beach Boulevard, project plan number 2563. Stop the clock, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So this is the project to improve Garden Road Boulevard, pretty much picked up from where we have the complete street project from Edward all the way to Beach Boulevard. So there's a small section of that project that lies within the city of Garden Grove, and they're willing to join with us and pay the fair share of that amount. This is budgeted for fiscal year 2022-23 and 2023-2024. The staff take the plan and specs for the council to approve in March 2013. We send out to have an open bid, and then we receive 4 bids, and basically it's less than what's the engineering estimate. So this is, we're looking at it to improve the payment as well as the medians. Right now the medians, asphalt medians, look very ugly and dirty. So what we're going to do, we're going to remove that asphalt, and we call it a rock blanket to make it look nice and clean. And this is what you can see along 405 where they do the improvement in our city. And that's pretty much all the details.
Any question?
Yes, I have a question, Mayor.
Please.
So that where you just spoke about the medians, is going to just, you can have any drought tolerant planting on there as well, or just rock?
So this is a hardscape median, not a landscape median.
No. What about any other public right-of-way improvements? Can you talk a little bit about that?
What is it?
Public right-of-way improvements, sidewalks, approaches.
So that's also cover any sidewalk, any broken curb and gutter, any wheelchair ramps that we need to put in. That will be included within the project scope of the work.
That's all in
Okay, motion to approve.
there. Second.
Motion and second on the floor.
Mayor, I just have a quick question. Jake, I know the name, the company name, RJ Noble Company, very familiar to me. I'm sure we used them many times before. Do you find them to be responsible, and have you had any problems with them in the past?
They are one of the good contractors that we have a good relationship with. They're very responsible. They attend to things that we ask them to do, not only on the plan but the specs, and accommodate to the residents. They're a good contractor.
Okay.
They're RJ Noble, and the contractor that we typically receive, for our street improvements, those are a good contractor, and several of them express that they love to work for the city of Westminster.
Well, that's good. I know because by the state law, we have to choose the one with the lowest bid, right? So I know that, okay, the lowest bidder and responsible. Okay, that's good. It's good to know because I know they're the lowest, and that's why they get chosen. But I just want to make sure that they're also good and responsible. And what about in the past? Have they always used their contingency? I know it's 10% contingency. That's kind of customary, a standard. I think always, because sometimes they underbid everybody and then they use all of 100% of their contingency.
Absolutely, that's a good question. Most of the street improvement projects, once you figure out the asphalt payment, there's a lot of unforeseen conditions. Typically, within 10% contingency that cover those amounts. A lot of this contractor, they have a bid item already. So if we have anything that we unforeseen that the number is going to go higher, the quantity is going to go higher, or something that, for example, we place additional sidewalk or add in additional curb and gutter, we don't have the bid item, so all we have to do is just increase the quantity. And anything outside of those bid items is always negotiated back and forth between the project manager and the contractor. If we disagree with the price, and there's a lot of times we disagree with the price, we can go call a force account, which means time and materials. So, for example, if that work wasn't covered within the scope of work, they will come out with their crew. We count how many staff members there and how many hours they spend to do the work and what kind of equipment they do. So we log all of those and we pay them by time and materials.
I understand the ones that are not on the bid order, but the 10% contingency is really on the bid order, right? Because anything that wasn't bidded on, that's totally understandable that they have to, charge you or, kind of still have to come up with a cost for that, and then you negotiate back and forth. But the 10% contingency is based on what was already on the bid, right? What they bid it for.
Correct. And what they bid and what unforeseen condition out there. For example, if you go out and you hit a soft area, which does mean they have to dig it out further, that doesn't have, the scope of work not having that item. So we have to negotiate with them on that. So that 10% typically covers those unforeseen areas.
What's important to me is that you find they are good and responsible. So thank you very much.
All right. We have motion and second on the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. The motion made by Mayor Nguyen, seconded by Councilmember Monzo. This is to approve the award of contract to the lowest and responsible bidder in the amount of $2,393,844.50 to RJ Noble Company, and that all other bids be rejected, and authorize a 10% contingency in the amount of $239,384.45 for potential change orders, and authorize the city manager to execute the contract on behalf of the city in a form approved by the city attorney. I'm going to call roll. Councilwoman Fan West.
Fan West, aye.
Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
5-0, motion carried.
5.4, revisions to the city council meeting schedule for the remainder of the 2024 and extension of the holiday closure. City staff, city manager.
Sure, I will provide a very brief report. So as we look ahead at our schedule, generally we in the past have taken some meetings and moved them around or canceled them this year in looking at availability and anticipating lack of business and potentially lack of quorum, especially in the summertime due to vacations, etc. We have staff is recommending that we cancel both meetings in July, so we would actually go dark in July, and we would also cancel the meeting of November 27th, which is the day before Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas Day, December 25th. We're also looking at asking the City Council to consider extending the holiday closure to include December 23rd, 2024. This year, our holiday closure extends from December 24th to January through January 1st, and we reopen on January 2nd. December 24th, city facilities are closed, and that's on a Tuesday. And so we're asking that if council could consider just closing December 23rd as well, which is the Monday before. The impacts to having to open on that particular day on one day, we would expect that we would not have a lot of visitors coming in on that day, and of course, impacts the staff who are requesting vacation, etc. So we would obviously do our every concerted effort to advertise this on social media, post on the windows, announce our council meetings, everything we can to alert the public of our holiday closure dates. And with that, we're just asking for council to consider the cancellation of those particular days, and as well as extending the closure to December 23rd, in which December 23rd, if approved, staff will be responsible for using their time, their vacation time, or other leave time for that.
Okay, any questions or motion to approve this item from council?
Mayor, motion to approve. I'd like to speak first. Just my question is this the first time we go dark the whole entire, for July, the whole month of July? Usually we cancel one meeting. That's it. This is like the first time in 8 years that I've seen cancellation of the entire month.
So in the past, we've seen different variations of summer months where we've canceled the second meeting of June, July, August, or July, August, September, or if there's a month that has 5 weeks in it, then we would only have one meeting on the third Wednesday, etc. This is the first time that we're going dark on a month. It is not uncommon. I don't anticipate that, if there's anything that comes up, obviously that's an urgent item. We have in the past called for special meetings or resurrected these canceled meetings before. But yes, in the time that I've been here, you're right, this is the first time that we've gone dark for a month. But I'm confident that knowing that we're going to be dark, we're going to get all the business that we need to get done before that.
Well, I'm glad that we'll be able to resurrect any when necessary. Thank you. So I second that.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Councilwoman Van West and seconded by Vice Mayor Ho. This is to cancel the regular meetings of July 10th, July 24th, November 27th, and December 25th, and adjust the schedule for adjourned regular meetings as recommended, and extend the holiday closure to include December 23rd, 2024. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Van West, aye.
Councilwoman Mozo.
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Wynn.
Yes.
Motion carried 5-0.
5.5, approval of amendment number 2 to the agreement for universal shelter services in fiscal year. May I ask for stop report?
Mayor, excuse me, Mayor. I need to recuse myself from this item due to a campaign contribution.
All right. I know that we have extensive discussion about this item during our closed session meeting a month or so ago. So I believe that this is very clear to every one of us from the council standpoint. So I move to approve.
And then
Okay, if there's no question on this, then we can go ahead and...
Okay, I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, a second by Councilwoman Van West. This is to approve amendment number 2 to the agreement for animal shelter services, increasing its costs by $9,500 a month starting on June 1st, 2024, costing an additional $9,500 in fiscal year 2023-2024, and $114,000 in 2024-2025, bringing the total contract cost for fiscal year 2024-2025 to $732,684, and authorizing the city manager or her designee to execute the amended agreement, and approve the second option year renewal of the agreement taking effect on July 1, 2024. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Van West.
Van West, aye.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
Motion carried 4-0.
Thank you, Councilmember Mezzo, to recuse yourself on this conflict of interest. Next item is 5.6, City of Westminster 2 years strategic plan and updated 6-month objectives. For this, I guess we need to have a staff report.
That will come from our city manager.
City managers, and city managers are not here right now. All right. I didn't do anything.
I assume we're waiting for my staff.
Yes, please.
Great.
For item 5.6.
So at the meeting of April 10th, we had a strategic planning workshop in which we evaluated our 3-year strategic plan, and we basically updated our objectives. I have those dates with me. I'm trying to pull my staff report here.
Excuse me, City Manager. Sorry, we don't seem to have 5.6 in there.
Yeah. Oh, none of us has that. I have a problem with it. Yep.
Can't really discuss something you don't have.
So, if that's the case, I move to table this item until next council meeting.
I second.
All right, move to.
I have a motion made by Mayor Nguyen, a second made by Vice Mayor Ho. This is to table this item. We're going to call roll. Councilwoman Van West. Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ho.
Yes.
Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
4-0, motion carried.
I'm sorry, that's to defer to the next meeting, correct?
Yes.
I think you said table.
6.1, consider introduction and first reading of an ordinance amending titles 2.04. This is administration and personnel city council. of the Westminster Municipal Code, adding section 2.04.135, which is electronic filing of campaign disclosure information. I don't know if there's council have any question about this. It's very self-explanatory, so I entertain motion to approve if there's any. Motion to approve. Second, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a motion made by Councilmember Monzo, a seconded by Mayor Nguyen. This is to introduce for first reading an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Westminster, California, amending Title 2.04, Administration and Personnel City Council of the Westminster Municipal Code, adding 2.04.135, electronic filing of campaign disclosure information to mandate electronic and paperless filing of campaign finance disclosure statements by elected officials, candidates, or committees. Read by title only and waive further reading of. I'll go to call roll. Councilwoman Fan West. Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
4-0, motion carried.
Now moving to 7.1, continue from the February 28, 2024 regular meeting. Consideration of a request to replace 2 panels on the wall inside the Vietnam War Memorial Kiosk at Seat Goldstein Freedom Park. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Before I can make a quick comment.
Okay, please.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank the and thank Lieutenant Colonel Craig Mandeville for all his hard work and dedication to our community. For him and his team to deliver us the Vietnam War Memorial. Also, Lam Nguyen and Robert Harrison and everybody, the architect as well. So thank you for your dedication, gentlemen, and what you've done for our city. We appreciate it.
No, I saw. I will second the motion and roll call, please. I understand you there, but we need to.
Mayor, may I ask the gentleman?
Sure.
I just want to ask you, you know, in the past when we're being presented with these, I mean, I'm totally in support. I just want to preface by saying that. The only thing is that who has vetted the content? And we as a, council, we don't want people to come out after the fact, like, what happened in the past, where, we're not approving the content, are we? We are approving the content because how can we be responsible when we weren't there? And who would take responsibility? That would make you guys take responsibility, is that right? You know what I'm saying? Because in the past, that's what happened.
I believe that after that it's turned back to pocket recreation, right? And pocket recreation, we had this item probably 2 or 3 months ago, and we talked about this. And I believe that the direction of the council is for you for staff to go back and talk to these gentlemen. And I believe that you guys work it out already. That's why you bring it back just now. Correct?
Yes, Mayor, that's correct. We did meet with the organization, and they have gone through a long vetting process to approve the content.
What organization?
The Vietnam War Memorial.
Okay. All right, then I feel good about it. Thank you so much. You already have a second.
Yeah, motion and second on the floor. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The motion made by Councilmember Monzo, seconded by Mayor Nguyen. This is to consider the Park and Recreation Commission's recommendation to replace 2 panels on the wall inside the Vietnam War Memorial Kiosk at City Goldstein Freedom Park, located at 14180 All American Way, and provide direction to approve. I'm going to call roll. Councilwoman Fan West. Councilmember Monzo.
Yes.
Councilmember Nguyen.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hill.
Yes.
And Mayor Nguyen.
Yes.
4-0, motion carried.
Thank you. What time is it now? It's 6. Good time. Next, we would like to move to oral communication for non-agenda items. For this, you can speak on any item that you want to talk about, or on non-agenda items. I just want to ask that you respect others by addressing the city council. And at the time limited to 3 minutes, so please stop at the time when they're supposed to expire. Before we move on with the oral communication, I would like to recognize the person that I appointed to the Westminster Foundation Committee. Mr. T2, can you stand up so that people can recognize you? Thank you very much for serving. All right, now we can open up for the oral communication. So go ahead and read the instruction into the record, please, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding any non-agenda items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City Council, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Any person wishing to address the City Council in person should complete a yellow speaker slip that is provided at the entrance to the council chambers and submit the card to the city clerk. When your name is called, please step to the podium at that time, state your name and city of residence for the record. Our first speaker is Diane Weinstock.
My name is Diane Weinstock, and I reside at 14172 Enfield Circle, and I've been a resident for Westminster for 25 years. My community is here. Could you please stand up? Who's here for this community? I can't stand up. I've got a few members here for this topic. As you know, the Silver Living House is at 142222 Enfield Circle. Our neighborhood is a prestige neighborhood, and we have taken pride in our neighborhood. Thank you. Last meeting I was here, I addressed this issue, and we came up with a petition. The petitions that we had were 225 signatures on that petition. Today, I'm bringing up another petition with 343 signatures, and we have increased it, and I'd like to give this information to the clerk so that she has that as documentation. We are very concerned with this being on Enfield Circle. We have 20-some children along with senior citizens on our street on Enfield Circle. Along with sober living comes crime, and that's what we're concerned with. I addressed it last time with the city manager, and she said she was going to do a study session. And I want to make sure that that is followed up, because I want to get this on the agenda as I addressed it last week. And as I was shot down because they said it had to be a study session in order for it to get onto the agenda. So that's pretty much all of us that are here today. We're concerned with this sober living that's on Enfield Circle, and we just don't want it to happen. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
The speaker is Deborah Mariscal.
Good evening, Deborah Mariscal. I wanted to bring up a couple of things, and I apologize if this got resolved and I don't remember. I know a couple of meetings ago we had some issues with mobile homes parking, taking up streets over off of Garden Grove Boulevard, and allegedly those are rental RVs. If they are, they need to be stored. Parking is a huge issue. I live behind the Honda dealer, and we do have disabled cars that sadly I've had to call the police department multiple times to get them moved. One in particular has moved, but it's still disabled, so it'll just be moved again, so that's one thing. The next thing I'd like to address, Councilmember Manto, I am so sorry for what you have been put through this last week from our last meeting on Friday. Absolutely, to quote someone, despicable behavior from Councilmember West, who is not even here right now. I apologize to the police department for the amount of time that they had to take to resolve that issue, but no crime was committed, and we support you. We just want to let you know that. Charlie's not here, so Councilmember Ho, I'm going to address this to you. There needs to not be interruption from Councilwoman West when when residents are trying to speak. So if you could work with the mayor, if that is happening, turn the mic off. We spend our time here too. It's disrespectful. It's just not appropriate. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mike Reingold.
Good evening. My name is Mike Ringgold. I live in 5321 Shrewsbury in Westminster. It's part of the same tract that Diane spoke about with the sober living house. I've got my 3-year-old son with me tonight. Part of the representation of that community. On that street alone, there's 25 plus children. I have first-hand familiarity, or I guess it was second-hand familiarity. My brother was in a sober living house in Washington, D.C., and it's not a good situation for a community like ours. I'm 100% about rehabilitation, second chances. I volunteer at a nonprofit in Santa Ana. I see a lot of people that Project Kinship helps get off the street, coming out of the city jail, trying to change their lives, but I also see recidivism. When people are in recovery, relapse is part of that. It's almost a given. It's understood that people are going to fail in their attempt at sobriety. I don't want that failure in my neighborhood. The crime that it's going to bring, the associates that they have. My brother was in a house with a man who slept with a knife under his bed and snuck out the window to get cracked. This is something he lived with. So I know what it can be. I've also known people that are success stories. My brother's one of them. He's been clean and sober for over 5 years. My wife has a cousin who's been clean and sober for over a decade. These men are thriving in their lives now because they had an opportunity to be in a sober living house. So I know that they're an awesome thing. We also know that they bring things with them, associates. Someone essentially, people that are addicted to drugs have associates that are also addicts or dealers. And a lot of times they are drawn into those places because these people that are going to be in sober living homes aren't confined to the house. Or if they are confined, they're not on ankle monitors, they're not supervised by the police or the Department of Corrections. This is a community that, this is just a house. So it has a back door, it has windows, and they can sneak out, go to the park where our children are, and meet somebody to get more drugs because they've relapsed. So we just want to bring these things to you, Diane. You were awesome with your comments. Again, there's hundreds of people that have spoken against this. We appreciate your consideration. Have a good day.
Good evening, City Council. Thank you for taking the time to hear me out. I want to say I'm sorry for what Councilman Carlos Alonso had to go through with the lies from Amy Van West, falsifying a police report. She should be brought up on charges. It's just ridiculous that somebody who serves our community, he doesn't even represent my district, and he's helped me out numerous times, and I appreciate you for that. I don't get why, or what she has over the city council that she gets away with murder. You guys just let her get away with stuff, and it happens over and over and over again, and people are getting sick of it. People are opening up their eyes about it. She's renting RVs out online, storing them on Garden Grove Boulevard, Dorothy Lane, Nine Lane, Lee Drive, Barney Lane, and she just moves them every 24 hours. She has no business in the next city ordinance, which is talking about RVs parking. Right now it's 24 hours. You guys should adopt an ordinance like Garden Grove, where you have to register your RV, and that's it. You either park it in your driveway, or you move it every 24 hours when it's registered. Anybody else can just get towed. Why is she getting away with it over and over and over again? He pulls the public records, she keeps doing it. Van West, where are you? Van West, where are you? She's never here to hear the people out. We're getting mad. It's affecting our neighborhood. We have people who are just parking them, and we don't know what they're doing. Next come the tents, next come our homeless people. I know for a fact people are back there drinking on Dorothy Lane, doing drugs. Yet she parks her RVs, and other vehicles come, and it creates the light. I know she's in her gated community, her trailer park, and she doesn't care. It's not affecting her directly. It's affecting my neighborhood, the residents of the city, and we're sick of it. It's affecting my daughter. You can't even go on a bike ride down there without thinking, what are they going to see? I've seen people having sex in cars back there. It's gotten better because of the city app, and I thank you for the city app because it's really made a difference. But this RV thing needs to be nipped in the bud. Look at places like Venice Beach. They have so many RVs lining the streets, and what happens? It brings blight, it brings drugs, prostitution, trash. So why is she allowed to do this? We've already proven that she rents them out on the outdoorsy. She moves them around every 24 hours. It's just not fair to the residents to store them where they need to go. And I would like to ask her, to her face, Van West High, where are you? Do you rent them out? She's gonna say no, of course. I reported one today on Garden Grove Boulevard. They're too wide to be on the street. She's creating blight in the district she's supposed to be helping. Businesses are going, and she's doing nothing about it. Where is she? Van West High, where are you?
Our next speaker is Jason Doe.
This is a very important issue. A couple of months ago, I was at the, first of all, my name is Jason Doe, and I live over at 14067 Tiffany Drive, Westminster, California, 1963. And so a couple of months ago, I was here and presented myself about, the Cold War. It was the first Caribbean War where the high-flow incident happened between France and the northern military. This is an extremely important incident that happened, and this is the beginning of the dismantling of our colonization of Japan, also called Indochina. So the thing was that there was a contraband ammunition that went from China to Haifa, and then we were in the south, so we probably don't know, but the French controlled the south, and also they had allowed the north to have partial autonomy. So therefore, there was a contraband ship from China coming over, and then all of a sudden, the battle broke out. That's how the first Indochina War started. Now, if you remember history, Charlie, 1945 was the end of the World War II, and then 1946 was the beginning of the first Indochina War, right? So we must think that there's a reason why it happened. So it's between Ho Chi Minh and Yat Go right at the beginning Hai Phong. So once that happened, the French fought the Vietnam, and then for 9 years, from 1939, no, I'm sorry, from 1946 to 1954, they fought it until the Battle of Dinh Bien Phu. So the last Battle of Dinh Bien Phu is the one in the north. Dinh Bien Phu is in the north. So obviously they celebrate the winning against the French. So 1954 was the end of the First Indochina War, and then the beginning of the second Indochina War. It's also called the Cold War. Okay, so in 1954, that's when American troops come in, and we have been appointed as the president of the South Vietnamese at the time. And then also, John F. Kennedy was the president at the time. So we're supposed to have the popular election between the North and the South, and we want to reunify both the North and the South as a democratic nation, not a communist. If I'm not right, then someone has to fix it, but I'm pretty sure that was the reason. But anyway, because of that, we are
Thank you.
so they decided, which is true.
Sir, your time is up. Please, your time is up.
So how do you feel about it?
Next. Thank you.
Is Tammy Hamill.
Tammy Hamill, Westminster resident. Probably goes without saying, she's still dumb. She missed 3 votes. Gone again for oral communications. She can't take it. She does not have intelligence. She only wants to be here for her own self-serving agenda. And for her to talk about the code of conduct kind of blew my mind. I mean, I actually looked it up this week, the City of Westminster's code of conduct. I did not find one line in there that she has not violated. I highlighted them, every single one of them. She's violated every single thing in the code of conduct. I'm surprised she even knew you had one. Did she sign it? I mean, did she read it? I don't think she understood it, because everything she does in these meetings and online on her social media is a violation of that code of conduct. Last Friday was the end-all be-all of the Amy Show, which is what she's turning this into. That's what she wants it to be. She wants the attention, she wants the credit, she's doing nothing useful. Now she's slandering other council members, dangerously slandering them. Not only has she called residents, called me pedos, which I asked her about that proof that I sent her and she called me crazy. She was talking to 2 other people about getting credit for the Jane Fonda issue. I asked her if that's what that was about. She said I was a stalker. This is what she does. This is what we see up here. It gets worse outside. I can't even imagine what goes on behind closed doors with city staff. I can't imagine what they have to deal with. If this is what we see in public from her, she needs to be censured. We might have to explain it to her that it's not censored. Censured. Something has got to be done about her. She's the unfortunate representative of my district. She won't even have another meeting with me. The first meeting I had with her, 7 minutes, because she couldn't take it. I was asking her about things that she posted online, answering for them, taking accountability. She didn't even know what's in Indian Village. I don't live in Indian Village. She asked me that 3 times. She has no business being on this council. She does nothing. She's getting dangerously close to getting people hurt with the things that she puts online, the things that she agrees with and laughs at that other people put online. Is it going to take someone getting hurt because of her actions for you to do something? Or Chris, what is it going to take for you to say something, to really do something about what she's doing? Is it going to take someone getting hurt? Because I think, honestly, that's what she wants. She wants to be in the news, and she wants to be on social media.
speaker is John Gentile.
Hello, council members, city staff. Before coming to this meeting today, I had one of my customers ask me if I was going to the comedy show today, referring to the city council meeting. Out of respect for the city, I just turned and walked away. I can understand the humor in what he said, but I have lived in the city for 54 years, and what I see now is the demise of our once all-American city. Instead of talking about our underpaid police and fire department, crime, homelessness, and business closures, we gather here to support Carlos Manzo. Carlos, on behalf of the overwhelming voters of District 1, we stand by you and support all that you have done for our city. I will end by saying something I swore I would never say. To the 21 voters who chose to sit at home and not vote, this is what happens. God bless our city's future.
Our next speaker is Gigi.
Kính thưa ông thị trưởng và các nghị viên, tôi tên là Gigi. Ngày hôm nay tôi đến đây để tôi nói chuyện với bà nghị Amy. Miệng bà thì lúc nào cũng nói vì cộng đồng không ạ. Mà thật sự là chỉ là vì mình muốn để lấy điểm thôi. Để sửa soạn ra đi tranh cử với gì? Phải không bà? Bà qua Mỹ đã gần 40 năm rồi, đúng không? Bà đã làm được cái gì cho cộng đồng đây? Bao nhiêu năm qua, bây giờ bà mới vào thành phố có bao nhiêu mà sau bao nhiêu lần bà tranh cử thua mà bà lại muốn trở thành một ngôi sao sáng chói một cách nhanh chóng. Bà đi giành điểm để cho buổi họp thứ 6 vừa qua. Bà học hỏi nhân viên thành phố tại sao không có tên bà trong cái bản báo cáo. Bà có 3 người nghị viên đồng ý cho buổi họp khẩn không? Bà gọi cho bà có thị trưởng Kim Ly mà bà ta cũng chưa đồng ý nữa. Mà nếu có 3 người đồng ý thì tên của bà cũng vẫn không có trong bản báo cáo. Vì bà phó thị trưởng Kim Ly đưa nghị trình đó ra với ông thị trưởng rồi là thật là tội nghiệp cho bà. Vì không có kinh nghiệm sinh hoạt trong cộng đồng, bà đi theo một nhóm người được gọi là cố vấn nhưng không có chút tự tin nào trong cộng đồng hết. Trên thực tế, bà giao du với nhóm người ít gây rối. Rồi những người này dẫn bà đi sai đường hướng. Và lần này bà đã đi quá xa rồi bà. Bà đã bịa ra những câu chuyện kêu gào về những vấn đề nhỏ nhặt để biến thành những cáo buộc lớn để phải lôi kéo cảnh sát vào. Đất nước này có luật pháp và trật tự mà. Chỉ vì bà la hét và bị lạm dụng, bắt nạt và quấy rối, điều đó không có nghĩa là thật sự bà bị lạm dụng. Bắt nạt và quấy rối, không phải ai cũng tin bà và tất cả mọi người đều vô tội, cho đến khi được chứng minh là có tội. Tôi hy vọng sự thật sẽ được thôi bà xứng đáng với danh hiệu nữ hoàng nói láo và là kẻ gây rối cho hội đồng thành phố này. Hãy trưởng thành và hành động và có trách nhiệm hơn đi. Bà đúng là một sự xấu hổ cho cộng đồng người Việt. Bà thường xuyên nói lắm, nói thêm, dựng chuyện. Bà không sợ bị trời trồng sao? Và bị ác khẩu sao? Bà cứ dây tội ác khẩu đi bà. Trân trọng kính chào. Xin cảm ơn.
Good evening, Mayor Nguyen and council members. My name is Gigi Bo, and I come here today to talk to Councilwoman Amy. You always claim you are about serving the community, but in fact, you only do it for yourself and want to get credit. For what? To prepare to run for the next election? You've been in the country for nearly 40 years, isn't it? What have you done for the community over 40 years? You barely won the last council election after so many lost elections, And you want to become a bright, shining star so quickly? You want to claim credit for last Friday's special meeting? You asked city staff why your name was not included in the report? Do you have 3 council members who agree to call a special meeting? You called Vice Mayor Kimberly, and she didn't agree. And even if council members agree, your name will not be on the report because Vice Mayor Kimberly Ho brought up the agenda item and the mayor seconded it. Unfortunately for you, you hang out with this group of so-called advisors who don't have the credibility in the community. In fact, you hang out with a bunch of troublemakers who lead you in the wrong direction, and this time you went too far. You made up stories and cried wolf about small matters to turn into major accusations that involve the police. This country has law and order. Just because you scream abuse, bullying, and harassment doesn't mean that you were actually abused, bullied, and harassed. Not everyone believes you, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I do hope the truth will come out, and it has. You deserve the title drama queen and troublemaker for this council and this city. Grow up and act responsibly. You are an embarrassment to the Vietnamese community.
Our next speaker is Kai Dao.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I wish we would have more time to discuss about this issue. I'm not here to defend you or to denounce you, Councilmember Mazo. I'm here to speak to the so-called mayor regarding background, how he runs the city meeting. As many times before, I guess people, some even a YouTuber criticized me and then blamed me. He said probably because I came up here or come up here often and calling him stupid, that gave reason for the mainstream media to write article about our city and labeling what Westminster as a joke, laughing stock, high school bickering, and it's been a shame for us all. A circuit that, and Vietnamese it's called like a fish market. The reason being, I wish you guys would, Mr. City's attorney, unintended, I meant no offense, no disrespect, but I hope that you would educate them, sit them all down to explain the law to them, so that in the future, if someone filed a complaint, they wouldn't have to file a complaint against your firm or yourself, or not educate them about their role. Like I said, I don't know if he's stupid or he just have to do it to instruct people that criticize them. But being a referee, before you blow the whistle, you have to know the rules. And you have to be just and fair. Doesn't mean that just because you have to hit the gravel that you just keep pounding it. I sound like a monkey in the soup. Because respect has to be earned. You didn't earn my respect. I shouldn't call you stupid or barbaric. You're un-American. You're supposed to represent us, American citizens, an American city. Act like an American.
Our next speaker is HĐTP.
chào thị trưởng và các thành viên. Bữa nay tôi lên đây để nói chuyện với bà Amy. Chắc bà nhớ tôi ha? Bà nhớ không? Chắc là nhớ hay là quên rồi?
Qua cầu Đức Giá.
Bà đi ra bên ngoài bà họp báo, bà đưa những tin tức từ những buổi họp của thành phố kính. Bà đem ra những cái gì mà kính của city, bà đưa ra như vậy. Bà có làm đúng không? Bà ngồi trên cái ghế đó, bà phải biết cái luật, đúng không? Bà nói xấu những member, bà nói xấu những cái member ở trong này, trong city. Tôi thấy những hành động cư xử của bà trong những buổi họp thật là bất lịch sự, chuyên môn dành nói và nói ác tiếng người khác. Tôi nhớ có một buổi họp mà ông thị trưởng vắng mặt và ông phó thị trưởng Nam Quang điều khiển. Bà đã ngang nhiên chửi những người lên tiếng phản đối bà, mặc cho ông Nam Quang không cho nói. Bà đâu có nể ai đâu. Bà có biết bà là cái gì? Ông thị trưởng đã một vài lần cấm không cho bà nói, vì bà lì lợm, nói ác tiếng người khác, mặc cho ông thị trưởng bỏ búa. Rồi bà nói là người ta bịt miệng bà. Đó là tư cách của một nghị viên đó sao? Mà bây giờ bà chỉ trích ông nghị viên Menzo là đừng bịa đặt chuyện và nói láo. Có bằng chứng đàng hoàng. Cảm ơn tất cả mọi người.
Okay, Councilwoman West, you go on YouTube and talk about info from closed session meetings. You are breaking the law. You know that? You spoke badly about other council members while I found your behavior in council meetings to be impolite. I remember a meeting when the mayor was absent and Vice Mayor Nam Kwan Wen then conducted the meeting. You blatantly cursed those residents who spoke against you. Even Nam Kwan couldn't control you. You always demand respect, but you don't respect anyone else, including the mayor. Now you accuse Councilmember Manzo of harassing you. You should not cry wolf and you should not lie.
Our next speaker is Nat Lynn.
Thưa Hội đồng thành phố, tôi là Nhật Linh ở Địa hạt 3 Westminster. Sau cái cuộc họp của Hội đồng thành phố ngày 3 tháng 5 vừa rồi, tôi rất là phẫn uất khi mà bà nghị Amy Van West, bà bắt tay với ông Ngô Kỷ là một người chuyên bịa chuyện, phá rối cộng đồng và cái đám YouTuber thân cộng. Bà tổ chức vài cuộc, bà gọi là họp báo, nhưng mà tôi cho rằng cái đó không phải họp báo, bởi vì những người đó không có phải là những người có trình độ để làm truyền thông. Bà tố cáo sai sự thật về ông Menzo. Bà muốn gây tiếng xấu cho ông Menzo ở trong cộng đồng người Việt Nam. Bởi vì tháng 11 này là ông Menzo với bà phó thị trưởng Kim Đồ sẽ ứng cử trở lại, theo tôi biết. Bà muốn bôi nhọ và bà kêu gọi những cái người ở trong cộng đồng này, có ai muốn ứng cử ở Địa hạt 2, Địa hạt 3 liên lạc với bà sẽ support. Bà như Ngô Kỷ support, bà có ý đồ rất là tồi tệ và độc ác. Tôi xem đi xem lại cái clip ông Menzo rất là đứng đắn đàng hoàng, nhưng mà bà quá đáng. Và tôi cho rằng cái việc mà bà phó thị trưởng Kimberly Hồ và ông thị trưởng, hai người đưa ra cái đồng đó rất là đúng cái quy chế của Hội đồng thành phố. Không có lý do gì bà đòi tên bà vô. Vì bà muốn nhanh nhưng mà bà đi sai quy trình, sai quy chế của hội đồng thành phố này. Mà bà đi ra làm, bà nói cả cái hội đồng này là hãm hại bà. Và bà focus cho ông Metro. Tôi cho đó là hành động độc ác. Thêm một điều nữa, chính vì cái cuộc họp đó bà đòi cái văn bản của thành phố là phải có cái chữ despicable, là khinh bỉ cái hội đồng giám sát của LA, mà một cái văn bản của hội đồng thành phố không thể nào dùng cái từ như vậy, mà cả hội đồng người ta đều không đồng ý. Bà vẫn nói là bà muốn go home thì bà nên go home. Đúng. Mà trong khi đó ngày hôm qua bà có 1 phút để phát biểu ở trong hội đồng thành phố LA. Bà có dám nói từ đó không? Bà là một kẻ hèn nhát. Bà chỉ lừa bịp cộng đồng Việt Nam. Tại sao bà có 1 phút phát biểu trong cộng đồng LA bà không nói từ này? Cho nên tôi muốn nói điều này nè, bà đừng có làm gây xáo trộn giữa cộng đồng các sắc dân trong thành phố Westminster. Bởi vì theo tôi biết, ông Andrew là người nghị viên duy nhất của cộng đồng người Mễ trong hội đồng thành phố này. Chính bà mới lôi kéo những người Việt Nam bôi nhọ ông Andrew. Bà coi chừng bà tạo nên rối loạn giữa các sắc dân trong thành phố. Xin mời.
My name is Nat Lynn. I want to talk to Councilwoman West's actions from the special meeting last Friday. During the meeting, she kept repeatedly asking the council to change the language of the resolution to announce the County of LA Supervisor's action about Jane Fonda Day. You want to use the word despicable instead of inappropriate, which no one else in this council supported, which you call your mayor and other council members weak. What a joke. When yesterday you called into LA County Supervisor meeting, you called in and spoke for a minute. You didn't dare use the word despicable. You are just all talk and no action. You are a coward, and for even praising the LA supervisors, keep doing the good job. Your advisor, Mr. Noki, is a liar who likes to make up story and troublemaker with a loud mouth. I want to condemn your immoral, cruel, and ugly actions towards Council Member Manzo. The mayor and the other council members need to stop her deceitful and fabricated accusations towards everyone else in this council. You are a shameful and an embarrassment to this council and this city.
Our final speaker is Terry Raines.
Oh, there we go.
Despicable, immoral, contemptible, reprehensible, abhorrent, heinous, unscrupulous, repulsive, sadistic, deplorable, disrespectful, evil, narcissistic, moronic, worthless, pathological liar, nefarious, wretched, obtuse, all accurate descriptives of the character and actions of Amy Fan West. Penal Code 148.5, making a false police report. Civil Code 45, libel, a published false written statement damaging someone's reputation. Civil Code 46, slander, making a false spoken statement damaging a person's reputation. Penal Code 118, perjury, knowingly providing false testimony, all laws purportedly violated by Amy Van West. Amy Van West, aka the narcissistic twat waffle, filed a bullshit police report against Councilman Manzo last Friday, forcing our police department to conduct an investigation over the weekend. Per the police report, the investigation concluded finding no basis or evidence that Councilman Manzo committed any crime. Eyewitness accounts, including my own, and voluminous video and written evidence support that finding. But West didn't stop there. She held several press conferences in the Vietnamese media, continuing to lie and slander Councilman Manzo. Perhaps the PD needs to investigate Amy's criminal behavior against Councilman Manzo and City Manager Corden. Amy, you have called me a liar, thief, and bully from the dais. But look in the mirror, biatch. This full-blown narcissistic collapse of yours is truly pathetic. Lashing out at others and fabricating stories that you're a victim? Classic signs. Listen up, Amy. We are compiling voluminous, incriminating evidence against you. And you can mark my words. We will eventually take you down. You can bank on that. Council, this is effing serious. You can't just sit there and do nothing while this woman destroys each and every one of you and our city. You must stand up to the madness. It's time for this council and this community to come together, to take swift, formal, punitive action against this malignant cancer in our city, Amy Fan West. Censor Amy Fan West. Recall Amy Fan West. Censor Amy Fan West. Recall Amy Fan West. Censor Amy Fan West. Recall Amy Fan West. This is a plea to this community to wake up and this council. Thank you very much.
Mayor, I have no further speaker cards.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming out and voice your opinions. The next items is I'd like to close the oral communication at this time. Next is comment from the City Council agency members. I first want to call for Council Member Amy Fan West.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for everyone for coming. Thank you for our staff for working so hard. It is 8:30 p.m. already, and you know, I do hear some of your concerns, and you know, I understand that you know you guys have concern, but you guys have not looked. I feel like you guys coming out. I am the victim. You guys are Carlos and brought these people out. She was basically harassed me. And it's thank you, Mr. Mayor, I have the floor. Thank you. So, you know, the other thing that was sent to me today was that I want to bring this to the attention is that, let me read this out for you guys so you guys can see it.
Quý vị thấy là Nam Quang cũng trốn mình ra bây giờ mới ra, nhưng mà hôm sau mình cũng chưa cần phải tống đạt cái giấy.
Westminster Buzz, news and community discussion, urgent, this is a day ago. Urgent breaking news, Amy Fan West fell a bullshit, I'm reading word by word, police report against Carlos Menzo on Friday. An initial investigation was conducted over the weekend. This community must come out and show their support for Carlos and Christina at Wednesday meeting. This is an opportunity for council members, staff, and public to unite against the cancerous waffle. And this has been a rough weekend for many of us. I spent solid 48 hours searching for evidence and dealing with this issue, and also the closed session agenda item for City Manager Christine Gordon performance evaluation that she initiated. I was trying to do the right thing to not make this public, hoping Carlos Menzo would receive an official notification that the initial investigation has concluded, finding insufficient, no evidence of wrongdoing on the part of Carlos Menzo, but it seems that may not come today, so screw it. I'm going to going public with it too. Sorry, Chief Darren Lenye. Amy Ngoki made it public yesterday. So basically, this is a day ago. How did Terry Rain on Westminster Buzz know that the conduct investigation was insufficient, no evidence of wrongdoing? I can show proof today. Christine Gordon texts me, FYI, read your email for instruction. Police report is ready for you at 11:21. That she texts me. And then this morning, and I go, thank you, I'm heading over to the Westminster PD at 11:34. So I don't know how it's leaked out. It's my report that I filed, but how did Terry Rain got the information? And I didn't know about it until today at 11 a.m. So this was put yesterday already on Terry Rain website, that the investigation has concluded, finding insufficient, no evidence of wrongdoing in the part of Carlos Menzo. So that's something we have to talk. I want to bring the trust of the community to our Westminster government, the staff,
and also the council mayor. But with this, I feel like something has leaked out, and I wasn't even informed until today at 11 something of the report. So therefore, there's something wrong. There's something not correct. And I want it to be investigated. I want the public and the city attorney to look into it, because this is not right. How did Terry Ring knows about this report yesterday, a day ago, and I just found out today at 11 a.m. in the morning? That's something I asked the city attorney to investigate. And then also, you know, for the closed session today, I just want to let you know, it says on the 4 o'clock meeting that the council meeting, of course, the litigation, right, of the council. That's number 1. Number 2 is the public employment performance evaluation city manager. So in the email, Christine texted me regarding the Jane Fonda on May 3rd. I asked her to call me that morning at 9:37 a.m. She called, we talked, and then I told her, you know what, I don't see my name on this agenda that was public the night before. I was bummed. I was the one who called for a closed session meeting, and I asked her over the phone call, was I the one that called and initiated that meeting? She said yes. I go to Charlie. She said no, you did, Amy. And I go, okay, so if that's the case, why my name is not on this agenda item? And with your recommendation, because I asked you, how can I get this closed session to happen? She said you have to get 3 as a council member. As a mayor, he can call for a special meeting. So for me, I go, okay, fine, I'll call Carrie and ask her if she can be on this second for me. And then with the advice of the city manager, so the look it won't violate the Brown Act, that she said she recommends she call the mayor. I go, absolutely correct. For the look of the Brown Act violation, you should call, as your recommendation, you should call the mayor. So she called the mayor. The mayor, she said she informed the mayor that, yes, Councilwoman asked for this special meeting, and would you be okay? The mayor said yes. And so therefore we have the quorum of 3 for a call for a special meeting. So therefore, I asked her, you know, would you consider putting me on the agenda to make it right? And she said, let me think about it. And then I go, absolutely, think about it. For me, I could have said, you just proved to me that you said I'm the one who called for the special meeting. Why do you have to think about it, right? I have every right to do that. But for me, I do not micromanage my staff. I want them to do the right thing. I want them to have the opportunity to do so. So she said, I'll get back to you. I said, absolutely, not a problem at all. So she texted me at 11:01 a.m. It will be a verbal acknowledgement tonight, which is May 3rd, at the dais that you are in fact initiate the special meeting. I have also agendized myself on May 8th, which is today, the closed session agenda, so all of us and the council member can discuss this situation in detail, is the agenda situation in detail. So on the agenda of closed session today, may I finish, Mr. Mayor? That is employee public evaluation.
Please, can I stop you for a minute? Yeah. Because I believe that the city attorney intervened.
Just want to be careful that we're not saying.
I am not, absolutely.
In closed session.
Absolutely, Mr. City Attorney, I understand the conflict of interest there. We don't disclose anything that we discuss in the closed session. But what I'm saying is right here, it doesn't line up. If it's really employment performance, then we do the employment performance, Christine. But we didn't do that today in closed session. And it is misleading for the public to come out thinking that we are going to fire Christine. I like working with Christine. I haven't had a problem. She's been amazing. She has followed through with everything. She's worked hard to keep the staff up and running. And I appreciate that. So what I'm saying is that it come across employment performance, city manager, is a misleading. when we didn't even discuss about that. And I'm no lawyer. I'm no lawyer, but as any lawyer out there can see a misleading with this text message as well. I have also agendized myself a May 8th closed session agenda so that all of us council members can discuss this situation in detail. So I want the public, I want the community to make that decision for yourself. I am here to do what's right, to serve you. I want you guys to trust our government. I want us to continue to do what's right for the people in the city of Westminster. But there are questions that I'm asking, and I think everyone should be. So with that in mind, I know Mother's Day is coming up. On a lighter note, and as a mother myself, 3 boys, I understand there's no blueprint of raising children. And I know that as mothers, we work hard day and night, and we hold our family together. And we are the fortress that our family comes together because we allow our children, we impart wisdom, we impart love, compassion, and caring and respect to one another. So therefore, I appreciate all the mothers out there because I myself am a mother and I understand that. So I want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. And I also want to publicly wish my mom a happy Mother's Day as well, as she teach me what sacrificial means, teach me to be respectful and to always fight for what is right. And so therefore, my mom is a great example to me to be a mother, to be strong, but also she was pregnant, 8 months pregnant. I'm almost done, Mr. Mayor. May I finish with Mother's Day? She's 8 months pregnant when she escaped on the fishing boat. She was brave and courageous, and so therefore I will continue to fight for what's right, even though if I'm the only one standing. So thank you so much. God bless you guys. God bless your family, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
All right, I must ask City Attorney because she addressed and she also mentioned that she asked you to investigate. I want to make sure that is it a standing item that you need to look into, or you have any report on that. Also, I would like to see if the city manager have anything to respond, because something that I see is not respond in the way that it is supposed to be. So first for the city attorney.
With respect to the request for investigation, that's something that I will look in, not here publicly, but I will look into that. And if there's something that needs to be done, it will be done.
City attorney, and then city manager, do you have anything to say?
I actually have quite a bit to say, sir, but at this time I'd rather reserve that for closed session, as if we would see
Thank you very much. Next is Council Member Menzo.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to make I'm pretty disappointed in the answer from the city attorney. The question that the mayor asked was to address the allegation the way that the closed session item was listed for city manager evaluation, and you didn't do a good job explaining why it was listed that way. So can you please explain to the community why that closed session item is listed the way it is?
Yeah, I didn't understand that to be the question. I thought it was about the request for an investigation. She was asking about investigation. For your question, yes, I mean, it was listed properly. That's the proper format for having discussions about such things. I don't want to go into the content of it, but that is the proper listing.
And under that listing, what type of items? Why is that listing, and what concludes, what criteria does that fall under as far as what that covers?
Well, the council has two employees that it's responsible for: city attorney and city manager. And so when you list that for evaluation under state law, there's very limited things to list. For evaluation, that involves basically how is that person performing their duties, and the interaction between the council and that employee. And so that kind of encompasses all kinds of things when you're talking about the city manager. How are they doing their job with respect to police department, public works department, all these other things that may come into play in terms of getting the council and city manager relationship in proper order. So it's a very broad category. Evaluation encompasses the entire aspect of what it means for the city manager to do their work.
And does it also include just issues issues between the city manager and issues she needs to discuss with the council? Is that part? Is that
yes?
Part
Because
of that criteria?
Again, as the council's employee or the employee that's hired by the council, there's a lot of interaction that needs to take place between them, and so that would be a proper place to discuss how and when, in what manner, so communication happens.
Since you oversaw and approved the agenda item, and with your calculations, that was the proper way to list it?
Yes, that was the proper way to list it.
So the issues that Councilmember West brought up are not valid, they're not justified, saying there's something wrong with them?
Well, there's nothing wrong with respect to the way it was listed and the discussion that took place.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. First, I want to start with thanking our great staff for everybody. This was a total staff effort, team effort from all the departments, police department, public works, all the staff for putting together a beautiful Black April event. It was well attended, well covered, and a very moving event that really hit home with a lot of the community. And we had a lot of veteran presence, American Vietnam veterans and Vietnamese veterans as well. So thank you staff again for another great job putting that together. And I saw that it was even better because we also had an airplane flying overhead and with the banner. So that was beautiful, something we haven't had in the past. And we've also had some extra decorations with the banners going across the park that also added. It was really well done. So thank you, and thank you. I'm sure the mayor was helpful in that as well. So thank you, Mayor, for your help on that as well. Next, I want to make sure that we all get out there and thank our mothers and really celebrate our mothers for this Mother's Day weekend. Something that we must do and appreciate them, not just on Mother's Day, but every day, to appreciate them and what they do for us. And wives, I know my wife, she does a lot for me, so thank you. Make sure that you guys are well celebrating a weekend and put your feet up and enjoy your family, your family's company. Next, I have to, I mean, I hate this. If you guys know me by now, I hate services, I hate drama. That's something that we have a lot of more important things to do here in the community. But it happened, I need to address them. I wasn't out there in the medias or the YouTubes or whatever talking about this issue and spreading propaganda because I want to make sure the police department did their job without interference, without being talked about. Let them conclude what they got to do. So I'm going to make sure I didn't address anything until they did their job and it was done. I don't want to be out there slandering anybody and saying that the police department is not getting to their job, because we know our police department does a great job and they make sure they do everything by the book. As far as that, the issue that Councilmember West brought up about the Facebook, to me it sounds that particular, in this case Ms. Rain, that's her opinion. That's her opinion as far as what she thinks what the outcome would be. And as far as where she got the information, I'm assuming she got that information from Ms. West and the gentleman that she was doing all the interviews with. So she's the one that was out there talking about the issue. So I'm assuming that's where you got the information. Nobody knew about the outcome of the investigation until it was complete. And as she mentioned, we got an email from our city manager informing us that it was concluded. So that's when myself, I went there after work to get a copy of it myself. And like I said, to those folks who were calling me with their support, in the end, the truth always comes out. So I wasn't worried about it because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. I know in my heart that I didn't do anything wrong. And people who know me, I'm pretty sure you know me by now, what kind of person that I am. But I need to just read this because I want to make sure that I covered all the bases. I want to keep it short because I'm not about drama. I don't want this to keep dragging out. This is not good for our community. But it was something that I felt at the time that somebody had to say something. Because this has gone on way too long. So let me just bear with me and let me read this. Try to keep it a little bit. So I want to address the events following the special meeting held on Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Those who have attended our meetings or observed them know that Councilmember West has consistently shown disrespect toward the mayor, fellow council members, and residents during council meetings and community events. Unfortunately, this pattern persisted during last Friday's meetings. Councilmember West's relentless pursuit of seeking credit and having her name on agendas that she did not initiate knows no bounds. She continues to disrupt our council meetings, leaving the dais to interact with the public while meetings are still underway. After the meeting adjourned, as I was stepping off the dais, I expressed to Councilmember West that her behavior was disrespectful and did not align with the values instilled by her parents. Contrary to her claim, I neither touched nor blocked her in any way, as she was stationary at the dais while collecting her belongings. My remarks were brief and non-confrontational. I proceeded to the back conference room, retrieved my agenda packet, and promptly left the building. Councilmember West's subsequent email to the city manager, city attorney, and police chief is entirely fabricated and filled with lies. There are witnesses and video evidence to attest to the truth of the events. The conduct displayed by Councilmember West is reprehensible, disgraceful, and unbecoming of an elected official. It is incumbent upon this council to address such behavior promptly. We cannot afford to tolerate this any longer. I urge the mayor and my fellow council members to address this matter without delay. Our focus should be on the city affairs, and we must work collaboratively as a team to propel our city forward. And I know maybe you guys are tired of this, but this keeps sticking to me, and I read it before, but I'm going to read it again anyways. It says, there is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets credit. Now, that was from President Ronald Reagan, and I truly believe that as a council, in order for us to move forward, we cannot be obsessed with who gets credit for what. Our council's success is our staff's success. Our staff's success is our council's success. In the end, the ones that benefit from it is the residents. We must continue to act professionally and respect one another, and for sure respect the residents who voted for us in office. We owe it to all of you to conduct the business of the city, to act professionally up here, and to not continue to make a mockery of this council as Councilmember West continues to do. So please, I ask the mayor and the council, please, we need to address this. This needs to stop. All the evidence that the police department, the police report shows, proves that what actually happened, and it's not a bunch of fabricated lies as Councilmember West was out there. Ironically, I heard that Councilmember West had issues with when we had our study session, we had the SWOT analysis, that somebody, it's anonymous, anonymous means you don't know who it is. On there, one of the negatives affecting our community was, I forgot exactly how it was worded, but basically it was commotion in the Vietnamese media. And Councilmember West, you just justified this week what whoever wrote that meant, what they were talking about. Getting out there and causing all this undue and very unnecessary drama in our community that's hurting and taking away the focus that we should be concentrating in. So I just want to make sure we put this behind us and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I let each council have enough time to address the problems or the issues that for over the last 3 days. But I would say that you can make a statement, but please don't discuss about the item because it's not agendized for the meeting. But you are welcome to state the fact. But I don't invite any others to rebut or discuss about it. Didn't do it. And now I would like to invite the Vice Mayor.
Gosh, I really didn't plan on speaking about, I tried to forget what happened after that special meeting. But how can one forget? Because it was in the media, and if I went on YouTube, I received at least three different YouTube, from 3 different YouTubers, and I have not had time to watch. And people know me, I'm very, very busy, and I love what I do for the city. I only want to, bring, if I can, do good work here, then, of course I continue. But I feel like what happened really is number one, what came to mind is just the amount of money that we have spent, starting with a special meeting. I think, the special meeting cost money, and if the special meeting was about the special meeting because it was a necessity, of course we can justify, but the special meeting was all about grandstanding, and it was so clear that it was to bring credit and to grandstand herself. And I feel like another thing that comes to mind is my way or the highway, and it has been that way from day one. As I'm kind of quite analytical, I try to, not pay too much attention to a lot of things that may be considered as tantrums. And I try to be the bigger person, all that. But over the last year and a half, I have to say that what I observe are that there are 2 sets of roles. One for Amy Van West, the other for the rest of the council. and it needs to stop. And I think that we need to all look at that and figure out how we're going to put an end to that. Because it is not getting any better. You give someone a yard, she takes a mile, now she's taking thousands of miles. So I have to say, I have to recommend also that we step back and figure out, as adults, no one is going to win. I think it's going to hurt our constituents, our community, if this keeps going. We had a budget session today where we don't even have to see very far into the future, but within the next couple of years and so on, we will be at a deficit. We cannot spend enough time. We don't have enough time of the day to think of what to do to get. I'm sorry.
Can I interrupt you for
yes,
a minute, please?
But
we are not going to go into
yeah.
discussion. If you have anything that you want to state the fact, go ahead and state.
Thank
I
you.
believe that Councilmember West is going to agendize this item next meeting already. Am I correct? Okay, so we'll
Thank you.
next time we will
Thank you very much. So I'd like to, that wasn't a prepared thing that I was going to say, just prompted by, you know, the people to my right and left. So I want to say that since the last meeting, I want to kind of bring you up to speed on what I've been up to. As I said, you know, if we're really concerned, as we all were concerned about the choice of April 30th as a day to honor or call it Jane Fonda Day, we were all very concerned. That was understood. And so I wanted to do something I felt is effective. And besides, you know, speaking to everybody from the dais, I felt that it was important for me to take a trip to LA, and especially to visit the LA County supervisors. And since a special meeting, I just want to read, because I prepared something really short. It's last Friday, May 3rd, until now, the public has not been at peace. They've been lied to by a certain council member. I would like to restore the public's trust and normalcy by letting the people know the truth so that they're not continuously lied to, and so that staff could concentrate on doing good things for our city to move forward. Yesterday, Tuesday, May 7th, I went to address the Los Angeles County Supervisors at the Kenneth Kahn Hall of Administration at about 1 o'clock. I departed that morning at about 9 a.m. and got back to the OC at 4 p.m. I was allowed all that for 1 minute of speaking time. So, of course, after doing all that, I really appreciate all of you for coming out and addressing us. You know, every time we have a lot of regulars, especially Terry Raines, and in front of me, Ms. Hamill, for coming to address us. It was a quick, of course, it was a very quick speech. As a matter of fact, that was kind of my first time speaking there. I kind of felt like it was a coming home type of event for me. It was important for me to appear in person to convey my personal message to the supervisors, especially to Ms. Janice Hahn, whose father, the late LA supervisor, Kenneth Hahn, who recognized me some years ago when I was in my early 20s. And I did state that I was not there on an official capacity, I was there on a personal capacity. As I said, I was trying to come up with ideas, things that we all can do as an individual, as a council member, we should do if we sincerely want them to change their mind, and not, you know, write things that might provoke them, like using words that from a certain dictionary that may provoke people to not going to change their mind. So I really wanted to let you know that, and I'm always here to try to do good things. I try to put behind what the past is, bygone be bygone. However, we do need time to work things out. Thank you so much. And one last thing is Happy Mother's Day to everyone. This weekend I will spend the time going on a train trip with my mother. So it'll be the first time. We wanted to do this a couple weeks ago, but the train was out of commission because of the rain. And so now it's back in operation. So I'm very excited, and Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wow. First of all, I would like to thank the staff and our PD working tirelessly to put up to make the April 30th event an unsuccessful event. Second thing I want to report to everyone about the trip that I went to Sacramento that I don't have a chance to report last time because I got food poisoning and couldn't attend the city meeting. All right. At the conference up there in Sacramento, we got a very good news that I want to share. I believe that when I watched the city council meeting at home via YouTube, and was Kimberly already said a lot of things about it. But the good news that I want to share is the legislatures up in Sacramento, they are going to work on stricter rules and policy and laws to prevent shoplifting and a lot more. So I think if they pass the rules or the laws, then our enforcement going to have a lot of tools in your toolbox to keep the city safe. One more thing is I want to talk about the homeless thing. Let me see. Cal City is still working on, still lobbying for the $3 billion budget. Annually to help to resolve the homeless issue, and we still supporting that. At the meeting, they share their ideas about how to resolve the homelessness in the cities. And one of the ideas is they turn the parking lots, the public parking lots, into a place so the homeless people going to park their RV there overnight, because at night, we don't use the parking. So I don't know if that's an option for us. And they came up with a very tiny homes with less money, so the city or counties can help the one with less money to buy it. So we can decrease the homeless population in our cities. So that's what I want to share with you guys. And in regards of the incident that we have last special meeting, I actually have not had a chance to read the report yet. So I'm not a judge here. I'm not going to talk about it until I read the report from the police, and I think I'm going to save it for our next meeting. Thank you. And you back.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember Nguyen. Like I said before, I'm going to state the fact, and I hope that with the fact it will die out, or it's not going to be continue to be an issues until the next meeting. But I just want to remind you guys all that after this, we'll have the closed session meeting, and then we'll come back out and adjourn the meeting. Report out in the adjourn meeting. Special meeting. I understand that Council Member Manzo mentioned the other day we could work the items today, which I don't believe so. Because as a mayor, I was having a chance to talk to the city managers, working closely with her. I know that we have that heavy agenda, as you can see today. It's very heavy agenda. And if and you see that we have, you know that the last meeting, the special meeting took almost 2 hours. And if we are going to have it into this meeting, it's going to be too long. Now, and we are going to take all night and we were here since 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, as far as Ms. West, Councilmember West standpoint, I just want to let you know the fact is you have to understand the policy that we have. Even rest assured that I am the one who wants to call this meeting, and I mentioned it last time already, that May 8th is not going to be possible, and May 22nd is too long. And even you call for a special meeting, you can't have your name on it. Even you call for, you have the 3 council agree to this. It's not going to be stated on the staff report. The staff report is you have to take it 2 steps. 1 step is call for the items. The item has to have the second person to second it in order for staff to come up with the staff report. And you understand the staff report only to have the first and the second. For those people who are calling for a special meeting, the name is not there. My name is there just because I was the second for the item. My name wasn't there because of the special meeting. But I do call for such special meeting on that day. So please understand there are 2 separate issues. That way we don't mix up between the 2. I want to thank staff for working hard. I know that there are many things that staff, we had put on their plates, and they have to carry it with them. And I understand sometimes too much for you, especially for community and development, not community development, but park and recreation. I know that you plan a lot of things for the community here, and I appreciate for that. Talking about April 30th, I know you've been working hard, and I have a chance to work with you and your team, and I appreciate that the outcome. Like Councilmember Manzo said, it was great that people appreciate your work. And of course, for public works, of course, for PDs and for the ACM and CM, I would like to thank you for all of your effort at that. Last, for those of you who still have your mom, please pay attention and celebrate the holidays with them. For me, I know that when I sworn in as a council member, my mom was here with me, but she no longer with me at this time. So I don't have a chance like some of you have, but please take that moment and thanks them for what they do for you for your life. With that, I would like to recess for closed session. And you are welcome to stay, and we will have to report out, and then we'll adjourn the meeting. So, that's a recess for our closed session.
Yeah, it's a potential litigation.
Yeah, we.
It was announced before.
Yes, if we decided now, then we do have. But we decided we have actually brought it in at the beginning, and that's the case. So.
Rồi bây giờ sẽ họp kiến.
Quay nè, thằng rẻ tiền, quay nè thằng rẻ tiền, nè, quay nè thằng chó nè.
Ê, đừng có mất dạy nha, con khốn nạn.
Thằng khốn nạn, thằng chó đẻ.
Mất dạy. Rồi mình xin ngưng chương trình ở đây ha. Hẹn gặp lại các bạn trong những chương trình tới. Xin thân ái chào tạm biệt.
Cuộc đại chiến của thành phố Westminster vụ dân phân tan đàn đã tác, nhưng mà cuối cùng đó thì thấy nữ tướng Nhật Linh xuống gặp tổng thống Mosa, anh Khải Đào, chửi anh Khải Đào, tổng thống thủ tướng Mosa anh Khải Đào chửi lên.
Không, cái đó là mất dạy trước, Jimmy đồng ý không? Mình lịch sự.
Chị Vinh chị xuống chị chửi thủ tướng Khải Đào trước.
Giống như Jimmy thấy anh, Jimmy quay anh cũng quay là Jimmy rất là bình thường, đúng không? Còn chuyện thích hay không là chuyện của bà, chứ bà mất mới như bà chửi người ta.
Nữ tướng Nhật Linh xuống ngay chỗ anh Khải Đào.
Mọi rỡ mất dạy nó quen rồi, cán bộ tuyên truyền gái mà, cộng sản nó vậy đó Jimmy.
Chị xuống ngay chỗ thủ tướng Khải Đào ngồi chửi mất dạy, anh chửi là mất dạy. Lúc đó thủ tướng mới quay ra quất lại nữ tướng Nhật Linh rồi.
Không, anh không có chửi cái đó, anh nói lên sự thật là anh mới hỏi Jimmy có mất dạy hay không. Đúng không? Anh nói đúng hay anh nói sai?
Không, chị tắt, anh thấy chị tắt.
Dạ vâng, thân ái chào các bạn. Khải đang ở trong Modern Salon của người quen. Ghé lại hôm nay mới có dịp để ghé lên. Đây là ở thành phố Orange, ở trên ngay Freeway 55 hay Freeway 55 với đường Lincoln. Quý vị đi ở dưới Little Sài Gòn, đi 22 East. 22 East là đi về hướng đông, gặp 55 North đi về hướng bắc, 55 North đi về hướng bắc. Thì exit đường Lincoln thì quẹo trái xong thì vừa qua đường Tustin thì nó sẽ nằm bên tay trái, là địa chỉ là 1446 Modern Salon, ngay trong khu chợ Vons. Có BFA, Bank of America, đằng sau Denny's và Del Taco. Thì Khải giới thiệu cho bạn bè, các bạn nào ở thành phố gọi là Tustin, Orange, kể cả nếu mà Irvine thì thay vì đi xuống Little Sài Gòn thì đi Freeway 55, thì đi học ở UCI rồi thì có thể ghé lại đây là tiệm Modern Salon thì để coi kỷ niệm 25 năm thì có những cái đặc biệt là có massage da đầu, có không có phải là kiểu mà thanh nữ ở Việt Nam, nhưng mà là có xoa bóp đầu, rất là relax, rất là thoải mái. Nếu mà mình đi học, đi làm mệt mỏi thì xoa bóp đầu, tức là khi mà gội đầu thì sẽ có thời gian để mà xoa bóp, nắng bóp, massage đầu mình, da đầu, thì nó sẽ rất là thoải mái. Coi như là nếu mà mình đi làm mệt mỏi, đi học hành cũng căng thẳng, thì những cái gọi là nắng bóp da đầu như vậy thì nó rất là làm cho người mình nó thoải mái. Thì đây là cái dịch vụ cũng mặc dù ở Việt Nam thì rất nhiều người làm rồi, nhưng mà Việt Nam thì có thêm vấn đề thanh nữ, vấn đề happy ending. Ở đây nó không phải như vậy, nhưng mà chủ yếu là chỉ là massage đầu thôi. Thành ra quý vị nào muốn thử cái dịch vụ mà coi như là xoa bóp đầu đó, khi mà thay vì gội đầu thì sẽ nhân viên thợ uốn tóc, họ sẽ massage mình luôn trong cái thời gian mà gội đầu. Thì cái phần đó là phần massage đầu, thì đó là một cái dịch vụ cũng mới bắt đầu. Thì đây là kỷ niệm 25 năm, thì đang còn có những cái dịch vụ mới là họ đang có sẽ có cái dịch vụ này. Rồi Khải cũng đi vòng vòng rồi, chút nữa Khải coi, tại vì tiệm cũng đang có khách bận. Khải coi rồi Khải sẽ coi như là để coi, Khải đi vô tí xíu để xem, coi quý vị xem tiệm. Đây là có dịch vụ hớt tóc. Đây là cũng có để thờ thần tài, cũng có cắm nhang đàng hoàng, và cũng đang có khách. Và đây là những cái ghế để uống. Và đây là có cái phòng để mà coi như là tổng quốc massage, và coi như là tổng quốc để gội đầu và massage luôn. Nếu mà quý vị nào mà muốn cần cái dịch vụ tổng quốc thì bữa nào Khải sẽ ghé lại để Khải gội đầu dưỡng sinh hả? Nếu về chị có thể giới thiệu tên đi.
Em có nhiều packet ở gội đầu dưỡng sinh.
Dạ.
Có 4 cái packet. Dùng đá, rồi scalp massage, rồi arm, chân.
Rồi đây là mình có massage toàn thân luôn không, hay là chỉ có gội đầu với massage
gội
đầu?
massage từ facial, làm tóc luôn. Tóc. Nói chung là mọi thứ về da.
Về da nữa.
Dạ. Làm facial, rồi scalp massage, rồi tay rồi chân, mấy cái face gel mask rồi. Anh thấu này nè. Juice stone, rồi colon. Ở đây đúng.
Cái này là về làm về massage đầu,
gội đầu dưỡng sinh đó.
Gội đầu dưỡng sinh, tức là không có phải là cái vấn đề mà thanh nữ rồi này kia mà bậy bạ, mà là để relax, đúng không? Để dưỡng sinh là cho người mình nó tinh thần nó thoải mái.
Gội đầu dưỡng sinh cũng relax đó, cho đầu óc đó, rồi làm tay, rồi làm chân, nếu nó chọn.
Rồi đang có cái package, đang có những cái hạ giá gì đặc biệt không?
Nếu như mà người nào first tới á, mà lần đầu tiên tới tiệm em á, thì em bớt cho 20%.
Rồi.
20% trong cái package của mình.
Rồi, tức là nếu mà lần đầu đến thì mình sẽ bớt 20%.
Bớt 20% cho trong những cái package nào mình muốn chọn.
Rồi cái này là nếu mà người nào người ta không lại tiệm được thì mình có người đến, nhân viên đến nhà luôn không? Hay là
không, chỉ làm ngoài tiệm thôi.
Làm ngoài tiệm thôi.
Chỉ là làm tiệm nên có đến nhà.
Rồi cái này nếu mà có những cái dịch vụ mà mình mua hồi xưa, anh có những cái chỗ mà họ bán giống như cái
hả?
Dạ hả? Cái nguyên cái thẻ làm nhiều lần là gì
dạ,
đó? Có luôn.
Nếu mua thì sẽ có.
Dạ. Rồi đây anh thấy là mình làm móng tay móng chân nhưng mà có sấy, uống ép sấy rồi nhuộm hết không?
Có đầy đủ. Tóc rồi đầy đủ. Tóc rồi đầy đủ có luôn.
Cho đàn ông luôn, anh thấy khách đàn ông cũng nhiều.
Rồi gọi đầu diễn sinh đàn ông đàn bà đều được hết. Tất cả đều được hết. Chứ không phải riêng cho đàn bà. Đàn ông đàn bà đều được hết á.
Tiệm này mình làm ở đây bao lâu rồi?
25 năm rồi.
25 năm ở đây rồi.
Cái này phần này mình mới áp thêm thôi.
Còn cái đây là dịch vụ mới.
Dịch vụ này mới có.
Mà cái này là mình cũng phải là có cái kỹ thuật đồ riêng
Đúng
biệt,
rồi.
có khóa huấn luyện đàng hoàng chứ không phải là.
Đúng rồi.
Dạ. Rồi, thank you chị Linh. Dạ. Dạ vâng, đây là cũng co-owner chị Linh, Lina Nguyễn, và Tím thì đang còn cái này là cắt tóc cho nam. Dạ vâng, Khải không có tiền quay mặt của khách, thành ra mình chỉ quay sơ sơ vậy thôi. Còn tóc tai mình cũng đang rất là bù xù, bữa nào thì mình sẽ ghé lại để mình cắt.